Going on, guys? It's Steve. So, someone suggested, I don't remember exactly who, so I apologize. Someone suggested that I do a weekly update series of the standings and what's going on in the league weekly. So I'm going to do that. Hopefully you guys enjoy this type of video, sort of like an NBA game time, except, I'm not doing it like with the camera behind me just yet. We're going to get there very soon, guys. I promise you. You got to give me, I'm like a week and a half away from going back to New York for, a month for Christmas break, and then the haircut video, and then, oh my gosh. But anyway, I am filming a sneaker video today, by the way, like I promised. Anyway, so the NBA standings. In the Eastern Conference, let's start off with the East. The Cavaliers right now are 13-3. LeBron James is definitely doing his thing. He's not scoring as much as he usually does, but he doesn't need to. With Kevin Love averaging around 23 and 10, Kyrie averaging around 23, he doesn't need to average 25 to 28 points per game, or 30. He doesn't need to do that. He can, but he doesn't need to. Toronto, number 2 right now in the Eastern Conference at 11-6. DeMar DeRozan is doing his thing. DeMar DeRozan/DeRozan is actually doing his thing right now. And he shocked me. And, not to an extent, because I knew he was going to come back better than ever. If you guys go back to a video when the Cavaliers actually eliminated the Toronto Raptors, I was like, yeah, he's DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, but I guarantee this, 2 years in a row of choking in the playoffs, no one expected them to beat Cleveland, but how bad both of them played, Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan throughout the playoffs, that was just terrible. Like 30% from the field, just awful, right? So that's why I said they choked. And then I said, 2 years of this, there's no way they're going to come back next year and play this bad. DeMar DeRozan is doing his thing. Kyle Lowry's playing pretty solid as well. I can't wait to see DeMar DeRozan in the playoffs this year. I really think he's going to, take that next step in the playoffs, because if he takes that next step in the playoffs, he will officially be an NBA superstar, in my opinion. Because you guys know what a superstar is to me. Is once you get in the playoffs, you can do whatever you want to do in the regular season. But can you take over in the playoffs like your LeBrons, like your Melos, like your KDs, like your CP3s, like your Kobe's, like your Wades? If you notice, even post-prime D Wade, out of his prime, was making 3 after 3, hitting game winners, clutch, crunch shots, because that's what superstars do. And that's what separates superstars from just all-star caliber players. So that's why I only have a select few of superstars in the NBA at this moment. And that's why I said Paul George is kind of borderline to me. I don't consider him a superstar, but he's really close because of what he can do in the playoffs. However, in regular season, and so far, he's proven me right that he's not a superstar. But it's all good. Number 3, the Chicago Bulls. My man D Wade is doing his thing. McBuckets is doing his thing. Rondo's doing his thing. Jimmy Butler is having an incredible season. I think he's averaging somewhere along the lines of 25, 7, and 5. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. He's a great defender, great offensive player. He's great. He usually gets destroyed by LeBron. That's why they had to switch a lot when they played Chicago that time, and when D-Rose hit that cold stone face game winner. But I think hopefully Jimmy Butler can take that next step, because he's looking like a superstar right now. He is, He's looking like a superstar. But again, we have to wait until the playoffs to really see what he's made out of, because regular season, if you guys notice now, there's like 30-plus players averaging over 20, So in the regular season, anyone can do it. Not anyone, but you understand what I'm saying. I want to see them doing it in the playoffs. I guarantee you in the playoffs, only around 10 players are going to average over 20. Maybe even less than that. That's a fact. Let me see. In the playoffs, Melo, KD, Curry, LeBron, Kyrie, K-Love, James Harden. If Russ makes it, he will. Dame Lillard, Jimmy Butler, D Wade maybe. There's some players. All right, maybe not 10 players, but around 10 to 15 players only. Half of the players now that are averaging over 20 are not going to average over 20 in the playoffs. That's just the way it is, because some of them aren't even going to make the playoffs. But let's move on. The Boston Celtics at number 4, 10-7 in the Eastern Conference. I told you guys this. They're not a championship contending team. Everyone was literally sitting there, not everyone, but a lot of people were sitting there saying, like, Boston's contenders. This is how it works out, in my opinion. Someone on ESPN says it, someone else says it, and then the train just keeps going on and on, just like everyone that hates Melo. You know what the crazy thing is about Carmelo Anthony? Literally, when he had that 35-point game and the game winner, everyone, ESPN was saying it too. Oh, he's back in MVP form. He's doing his thing. He's an MVP candidate. He shoots poor from the field. The next game, he shoots 6 of 22. Oh, he sucks. He's a ball hog. What the hell, man? You know, it's like, what? This guy can't get a break from you guys, you know? So that's why I don't really watch mainstream media for sports or anything, really. But that's besides the point. I'm not trying to get political. Yeah, so Boston's 10-7. Isaiah Thomas is actually doing his thing. But again, just because they got Al Horford, that doesn't make them championship contenders. He's overrated. So is Jeff Teague. I've said this, and this season is proving that they're both overrated players. Number 5, the Charlotte Hornets. Now, this was really surprising to me. You know, I knew Charlotte would probably be around a low seed, like 7 or 8 when the season finishes. Obviously, the season just started. We're only like 20 games in. So, you know, we're like, 1/8 of the season in. But the thing is, Kemba Walker is really surprising me right now. I did not expect that. Now, I remember when I was in junior high school, because I'm from New York, so you hear stuff. You know, you hear chatter when someone's making some noise in New York. And I hear this guy making noise, and I remember my friend Rashawn at the time. He was like, "You see this guy John Wall, because John Wall just got drafted at that time. I think this was like 2009 or 2010, and you know he's like, this guy Kemba Walker is making some noise. You know he's a good player." And I'm just like, who? Kemba Walker, right? Back then I didn't know about Ball is Life, the East Coast mixtapes and things like that, so I didn't really look him up. Come to think about it, a few years later, the dude gets drafted in the NBA. Solid point guard. He's doing his thing. You know, as a solid starter, not a superstar or all-star. But this year, I saw him play against the New York Knicks, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on with this guy? The way he was taking it to the basket, his handles look improved, his ball control, his shooting ability, his passing ability, his IQ, his defensive awareness. He's looking elite out there. But again, it all comes down to, can he continue to do that in the NBA playoffs? We'll see. Hopefully he can. I think he can. And maybe he can become a superstar, in my opinion. Obviously, he probably doesn't even give a damn what I think. But at the end of the day, hopefully, he can be an NBA superstar, you know, one day. By the way, what's it called? Some of you guys were asking about, like, what do I want to do with this channel? Like, what's the purpose of this channel? Like, what do I want to do? I want to be like this is tough. I want to be like, you guys, you know, DJ Academics. He talks about hip hop and, you know, things like that. And he gets, like, no one competes with him in terms of that. I want to be that, but for basketball. But I also want to include in real life videos at the same time. So just like DJ Academic does, he talks about the news. He talks about what's going on in the league and things like that. But I want to be exactly like that. But I also want to have in real life videos as well. So that's the purpose of this channel. I want to be both, you know, so hopefully it can work out. Hopefully it does. No one's ever done that for the basketball yet on YouTube. So hopefully I can be the first one. You know, the bigger YouTubers, you know, they don't even do that. You know, they upload like once a week. So hopefully I can be like that. And yeah, hopefully, man, you never know. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, the Atlanta Hawks at number 6. Now, Dwight Howard is definitely doing his thing. And I defended him way before the season started. I defended him when the regular season of last year was still going on, and people were saying, "Oh, he's overrated. He's not a superstar anymore. He's not an all-star anymore." I was sitting there defending him. I thought they were just not working and using him properly, and the reason for that is because James Harden is too ball dominant and he cannot play. Dwight Howard is not the type of big man to be able to play with a scoring guard like James Harden, someone that could average 25 to 30 points per game. That's not what Dwight Howard does. Dwight Howard, if you notice, he played well with Jameer Nelson. Why did he play with Jameer Nelson? The reason why he played well with Jameer Nelson is because Jameer Nelson ran the offense through Dwight Howard. Yeah, he brought the ball up. Yeah, he did pick and rolls with Howard. But most of the time, he would just bring the ball up, pick and roll, lob, or in the low post when he actually had a solid low post. I don't know what happened to it, but it was solid for a little bit. And then it kind of fell off. But that's what needs to happen, you know? And that's what's happening with Dennis Schroeder, Paul Millsap helping out in the front court. That's one of the best front courts in the league. Dwight and Schroeder, you know? Great front court. And this, you know, they're going to make some noise in the playoffs. They're not going to, you know, be championship contenders, but they're definitely going to make some noise in the playoffs. They're a great team, and they're doing their thing, you know? So that's the Atlanta Hawks. Number 7, the Milwaukee Bucks. This guy, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Oh, that's a nice GTO. By the way, I'm looking outside right now. That's a nice-ass GTO. Anyway, this dude, Giannis Antetokounmpo, he is shocking me. Now, last season, one of my best friends, his name is Giannis as well, but I just call him John or Snaps. I've known him for like 6-7 years now. he is a big Giannis fan because just like him, he has the same name, but also they're both from Greece. So he was like, yo, Steve, this guy, he's good, man. He's good. I'm telling you. I'm like, come on, John. You're bugging, dude. He's all right, but, I mean, he's overrated. Like, what did he average last year? Like, 12 points per game, 13, 14 points per game? I'm like, and they're like, no. I'm telling you, he's good. And I'm like, come on, man. He's kind of overrated. He's not that good. Come on. And then this year, the dude is averaging, like, 22, 8, and 5, something crazy like that. It's ridiculous. 22, 8, and 5, something. I may be wrong. I think it's like 21 and a half, 8 and 5. Last time I checked, that was a few days ago. Things kind of changed. They just beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, which was really shocking. But when I saw that, I'm like, what the hell, man? Is everyone just having a breakout season this year? We've never seen this much talent in the league at once. And this is coming from someone that said LeBron, Kobe, Duncan, Melo, Wade, Bosh, all that era, T-Mac, Paul Pierce, that era. I said that era is the best of all time. But even then, that era did not have as many scorers as they are now, as many breakout players as now. I mean, the players were better back then, but I mean, the amount of players that are having breakout seasons is just crazy. It's crazy. And it's good, though. It's a good thing to see because this is good for the league. Now almost every team has a great player, which is a good thing. Except a few teams here and there. I feel, who I feel really bad for? The Dallas Mavericks. I feel bad for my man Dirk, man. This is not a way to end the season. I feel so awful for my dude Dirk Nowitzki. But anyway, number 8, we have the Indiana Pacers. Paul George, he hasn't been playing lately. Indiana, they lost to a lot of good teams. I mean, a lot of bad teams, with and without Paul George. So, I don't know, man. I'm not sure about this team. Part of me is saying they're going to be 7 to 8 seed. But then part of me is saying maybe they won't even make the playoffs because, I know that sounds like, what? But just hear me out because they're losing to, like, some really bad teams, And I know they don't have Paul George, but I don't know, man. I think they're going to be like a 7th or 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. Next up, we have the Detroit Pistons and the New York Knicks. I'll make a separate video for the Knicks because you guys know how I do. Because if I talk about the Knicks, this video is going to be 45 minutes long. And I'm not trying to make a 45-minute video unless you guys want to see something like that. But I doubt you do. But anyway, let's go on to the Western Conference. The Golden State Warriors. By the way, I'm only talking about playoff contending teams, so 1 through 8. Obviously, there are other playoff contending teams, but I'm just talking about the 1 through 8 seedings right now. In the Western Conference, we have the Golden State Warriors at 16-2. They are on a 10-game winning streak. This team, they're crazy. This is ridiculous, man. I made a video a few weeks ago saying the Warriors are about to pick it up and go crazy, and they're doing exactly that. This team is crazy. I mean, they're just doing their thing, man. I mean, Stephen Curry, I did not expect him to do what he's doing with Kevin Durant on his team. And I mean, the unselfishness of these two players to also have Klay Thompson averaging 20. I mean, jeez, man. And then Draymond's doing his thing. Oh, my gosh. Next up, we have the San Antonio Spurs, who are 9-1 in their last 10 games. They're 14-4. They're 2 games behind the Golden State Warriors. Kawhi's still doing his thing. LaMarcus Aldridge, Pau Gasol. It's a solid team. It's a solid team. The Los Angeles Clippers, another pretty solid team. Now, they slowed down. I think they're on a 3-game losing streak. They slow down a bit, but it happens. The Cavaliers, I think they're on a 2-game losing streak. So it does happen. Or 1 game. I don't know. But it happens. Chris Paul's doing his thing. Blake Griffin. It's a good team. They're still going to finish top 3 in the Western Conference. Next up, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. Like I predicted, they would be around 4 to 5 seed around there, and that's exactly where they are right now. Obviously, the season just started. We're only 1/8 of the way. We have a long ways to go. We still have 80% of the season left. And Marc Gasol, Mike Conley, they're doing their thing, man. Grizzlies are proving that they're still a solid team. They may not be the 2nd seed like they were or actually, were they first? I'm pretty sure they were 1st seed. I don't remember. I think it was like 2013 or 2012. They were like 1st or 2nd seed in the West. I don't think they'll finish that high, but, 3rd, 4th, around there. Next up, we have the Houston Rockets. James Harden is literally the only reason why they're even in playoff contention. Next up, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. My man Russell Westbrook is actually averaging a triple-double. That is ridiculous. He is the first player since Oscar Robertson to average a triple-double. Now, obviously, the season, again, we have 80% of the season left. But, listen, Russell, I understand you're a great player. But did you have to be that disrespectful to New York City that day? Did you have to get 18 rebounds? A 6'3" point guard grabbing 18. Did you have to be that disrespectful? I dare you to try and do that again. Carmelo Anthony's going to drop 60 on you. I dare you. Anyway, I had to defend my New York Knicks for a second. Don't ever, no NBA player in the world better ever try and do something crazy like that again. I do love when we have great performances like Dream Week. We need to have that back, NBA. Adam Silver. You have yet to do a Dream Week. Not Marv Albert. What's that other dude's name? David Stern did it. Why can't you do a Dream Week? Why can't we have the Cavaliers, the Golden State Warriors, and, I don't know, the Los Angeles Clippers against the New York Knicks in 1 week? Why can't we see that? That would be so fun. Actually, I would actually want to see Cleveland, Toronto, and Golden State against the New York Knicks for 1 week. That would be epic. We need another Dream Week in Madison Square Garden. Get the buzz back. We already have the buzz back with Porzingis and Melo doing their thing. So yeah, my man Gordon Hayward is leading the Utah Jazz to a 11-8 start. Like I said, they're going to make the playoffs. They're a great team. Gordon Hayward, you know where you need to go. Give me a call, my man. I'll hook you up with my man Phil Jackson. One day. Next up at number 8, we have the Portland Trailblazers at 9-10. The Lakers are 9-10 as well, so they're both tied. D'Angelo Russell, Jordan Clarkson, Nick Young, and then Trailblazers, Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum. Great players, solid teams. I don't know who's going to make the playoffs, one of those two, but that's pretty much it. And no, I still don't think, if the Oklahoma City Thunder make the playoffs, I'll make a video saying I was wrong, but I still don't think they're going to make the playoffs. The season just started. They're 11-8. Season's going to get harder and harder. Teams are going to adapt and really just focus the defense around Westbrook, because if you shut him down, the team shut down pretty much, because Victor Oladipo is a solid player, but, I mean, he couldn't do anything with Orlando. So, anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. But Steve, I'm out of here. Leave your suggestions in the comment section below. Peace.